This is an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder.
It's time for another retro interview with a celebrity that is no longer with us. This time around, it's a chat I had back in February of 1993, and it's with someone who left us just recently. Comedy legend Sid Caesar. Caesar was the writer, actor, and all-around showman who profoundly influenced American comedy from the early days of television and beyond. Born Isaac Sidney Caesar, the actor was best known for the television series Your Show of Shows in the 1950s. That show first brought together the seminal comedy team of Caesar, Carl Reiner, Howard Morris, and Imogene Coca, as well as breaking the writing careers of future comedy luminaries such as Mel Brooks, Neil Simon, Larry Gelbart, and Woody Allen, just to name a few. He wrote 2 autobiographies, Where Have I Been? And Caesar's Hours, which touched on his struggles with alcoholism and barbiturates. We had a chance to talk to him back on February 18th, 1993. Here is part of that conversation now.
Going back to the golden age of TV, sir, when you first started, a lot of people are remembered for what they did in television, but the one thing I guess people think about you is the fact that you were a pure television performer. You didn't come from radio like some of the others. You didn't come from films before like some of the others. You were pure to the medium of television.
Well, yeah, but I played...
You did Broadway before.
I beg your pardon?
You did Broadway before, right?
Yes, I did Broadway before, and I worked some nightclubs before, and it goes all the way back, you know. It was a medium where you had to do it. It was like doing it in the age of King Arthur's court. I mean, everything was stone, you know. I mean, when we split the screen, we thought it was like splitting the atom, you know. I mean, now the technology has gone so far, you know.
Was part of the excitement the fact that you really didn't have a guidebook to go with beforehand?
No, there's nothing to go by. I mean, there were no shows, you know. And the main thing was like we had to make do everything. You know, there were no teleprompters, there were no cue cards. You know, you had to learn it. You had to do it.
I had the chance to go through your book, which you wrote about a decade ago, called "Where Have I Been?"
Yes.
And one thing you mentioned throughout the course of the book is one of the most important things in that era was the writing.
Oh, absolutely. I was very, very blessed.
You had some of the greatest writers.
I beg your pardon?
You had some of the greatest writers of all time on one show, or in 2 shows, basically.
Yes.
Tell us some of the writers you had.
There was Neil Simon, and there was Mel Brooks, Larry Gelbart, Allen.
Woody Allen?
Woody Allen, yes. We were all sitting in the same room, you know, and there were many other writers that were just as great, you know. Aaron Rubin, many of them. And they've all gone to tremendous, they're all geniuses, you know.
There was a lot of pressure, though, in doing a show like that. Each week you had to come up with a brand new show.
Yeah, and it was not 18 or 19 or 20 weeks or 22 weeks. It was 39 weeks. And it was an hour and a half, live. And being live, I don't think people understand what live is because, you know, some young writers come up to me and they say, how long did it take you to do the hour and a half show? Because, you know, to do a half hour now, it takes you 10, 12 hours, maybe 2 days. But then was, I said, about 90 minutes. That's how long. And it's amazing what's happening now, you know. It's made it so much easier. But listen, it was fun then. It was fun and it was terror.
In your first show, you started with Imogene Coca, Your Show of Shows, and then you segued into another show with Nanette Fabre.
Yes.
You had a pretty good run on network television.
Yes, we were around for about 9 years.
Did you ever feel during that time that, you know, how are we going to keep putting this out week after week?
It's, and to say the least, it's tiring.
I can imagine.
Yes, it was quite a feat. I mean, not only the physical, but the intellectual. You know, putting out shows, as you say, every week, and trying to be different, and trying to search for new ideas and new categories to go into. You know, different ways of doing things. You know, we did silent movies, we did foreign movies, we did the satire of the regular movies, and we did pantomimes, we did everything that we could think of, you know, which was
do you think of television today?
Television today,
Yeah.
some of it is marvelous, and some of it is, so-so.
What do you watch today when you watch current popular television?
Well, I watch mostly, I watch PBS, A&E, the entertainment, what is it, A&E.
Arts and entertainment.
PLC, Arts and Entertainment, and I like PBS, I watch CNN. And if there's some good sports on, I watch that also. And I watch the C channel.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't watch too much television. I never watch television during the day, except if there's a game.
Now, I know you've done some work in the last little while with Comic Relief. That's where some people may have had a chance to see you. I know you've done some work with Comic Relief.
Yes.
And that's where people sometimes get a chance to see you. But as far as being regularly in television, do you miss it?
Well, in a way, no, not really. No. If something came along that would be good, okay. But it's to work that hard now, and it's much easier now. Really.
I was told that at one point you were interested or you were considered for playing the role of Coach on Cheers. Is that correct?
The coach?
Yeah.
No, I was supposed to play the bartender.
That's right, the bartender, the one that was played by Nick Colasanto. You were going after that role at one point?
No, I just went up to talk to them. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, you would have been interested in getting back into regular TV.
Yes, in a way, surely. Yes.
Do you keep abreast of ideas and shows that are going on in the future in case there's something you might be interested in doing?
Well, everything. I mean, I'm not looking to make a new career now. But the main thing is to enjoy life. The main thing is to appreciate life. People to walk around, I got to do this, I got to do that. If you can just sit down and appreciate life, that's all. Understand what the gift that you've been giving and the gift that you got. That's wonderful.
That's a very philosophical point, and
well, you have to be.
I guess people who have known you for only your career and what they see publicly would be surprised about some of the things they can get a chance to read about in your book, Where Have I Been?
Yes.
Was that a revelation? Were people actually surprised when you came up with this book and said, this is what's been going on? I mean, you talk about alcoholism and problems that you've had
sure.
and in your personal life and how you've done things. You did an entire film in New Zealand that you weren't even aware of.
Well, it's something I had to go through, and thank God I got through it. Mm-hmm. And the main thing is you get through it. If you have to do something, you can't keep blaming everything on other people. You can't keep saying, oh, it's because of them. They did it. And look at them. Look what they did to me. You got to take some responsibility for yourself. Once you find that out, that you have responsibility for yourself, and you start to make friends with yourself.
I understand that
you make friends with yourself, then you're on your way to having a little happiness.
I understand that the beginning of the realization of the problems that you have actually took place in Canada.
Yes, exactly right. It was in Regina.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and they were very, very nice to me there. Yes, I went right to the hospital there. That was the first time, and that's what started it. Yes, that was the recovery. That was the start of the recovery.
There have been plays written about. I mean, there's the film My Favorite Year. There's the Broadway play Laughter on the 23rd Floor.
Yes.
You must feel rather honored to be remembered.
Very much so. I mean, I'm a very, very lucky man. To have worked with these kind of these talents. And I'm talking about everybody. I was a very lucky man, and I still am.
Do you keep in contact with those most talented people who were with you on that show?
Of course, yes. We talk to each other. When there's we know each other. We spend many, many hours and many, many horrible hours and many, many funny hours together.
Okay. Before I let you go, is there anything that we can look forward to from you that would be new, or are there any ways of people getting a hold of old shows of yours?
I'm going to be putting. There's a lot of people have been asking where the shows were.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think I'm going to start to put some shows out. For video.
Mm-hmm. Do you own the shows yourself?
Yes, I do.
A very smart move. A lot of people didn't do that in the past.
Yes, there's 450 hours of them.
And you have them all, and they will soon be available to video?
Yes, we're working on a deal now.
Well, I look forward to seeing those shows, and I thank you for talking with us for the brief moments we've been able to have with you this evening.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
That was part of an interview from February 18th, 1993, with the legendary Sid Caesar, a comic genius. Sid died recently on February 12, 2014, at the age of 91.
You've just heard an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder. To hear any or all of the full hour-long shows, visit thestufffile.com. Stuph is spelled S-T-U-P-H. That's thestufffile.com. A presentation of Flying Fish Communications.